Do you have the bumper music, or do I need to do like a little bow, 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 bow?
I kind of want you to do that anytime, every time.
Now you got it.
Yeah.
Now you got it.
Have you ever heard the term, there's more than one way to skin a cat? That's what we're going to do today. We're not going to skin a cat, but we're going to skin your sight, and we're doing it for Easter. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of CTA Live. If this is your first time, then I want to introduce myself. I'm Dave Curley, founder of ChurchTrainingAcademy.com, which is a place where you and I can learn how to use and exploit media and technology so that we can take Jesus' message out to the world, everywhere, the internet, the books, just you name it. We're going to take it out there. With me today is he keeps saying not to say lovely and talented, so I'm my doughy and hairy co-host and partner, Mr. Justin Nava. How are you doing there, sir?
What's up, guys? No one think that just because I'm doughy, they can come and poke my belly. That's not okay. It's a fictitious character. I am not the Pillsbury Doughboy, although I do enjoy his products a little too much. But what's going on, guys? My name is Justin, and I don't have a title yet, but I'm here and excited to be a part, and today's going to be a really good show.
Hey, so how's your week been? Everything been good? You've been getting stuff done, getting, productive and such?
Week has been great. My wife is finally home. She's been doing clinicals in a town an hour away.
Oh.
And so it's been me and the girl, my daughter,
the child,
and me and the kid. And I've kept her alive.
Hey,
her hair is still intact.
Good.
And she's been well fed, and she's super happy to have mommy back. She got back last night. And so everything is just peachy, and it just happens to coincide. Our church has a parents' night out tonight. So
ooh, good.
Perfect timing.
Yeah.
And Jill loves that. For Jill, it's more of like a kid's night in.
Right.
She's
yeah.
like, yes, I get to get away from the house.
And party with all her friends.
And we're excited for that.
That's good. Tonight is Jana's prom. Those of y'all who don't know our story, our daughter Jana has some special needs, and Tim Tebow put together that organization where they do a prom tonight all across the country, like at 500 churches or something around the country, or around the world, I think. It's called Night to Shine, and it is a prom for kids with special needs, and it is so cool. And so Jana, this is her first year to go, and we've got some friends, and she's coming in to say hi.
Hi, Justin.
Hey, what's going on?
You're live. Say hello to the internet. So this is her first prom. It's her first night. She came in here the other night with her dress on, and I fell out of my chair. I could not believe that this little premature baby that was so small. Catherine and I used to joke that she didn't have a butt because she was she was like a babe. Like a doll, like a toy. She was so tiny. Is standing there, this gorgeous woman. I could not believe it. So tonight's a big night. It's a bittersweet night because I have a feeling I'm going to be crying when she comes walking in all nice and perfect and we take her over there. It's going to be a basket case. Yeah, so I may be calling you late tonight, just if I sound like I'm drunk, I'm not. I'm just
I'm gonna have that Cinderella song queued up, and that's gonna be my ringback. So
great.
Just to make it worse when you call me.
Yes, that butterfly kisses too. We'll wash it down with butterfly kisses.
Yeah, that stupid Cinderella song that gets me every time.
Oh, I know. I did a wedding a couple of weeks ago, man. She and her dad were dancing to that, and I'm sitting there trying to hold the camera still while I'm shooting it, and trying not to cry. Dadgummit, why do these people do that? Anyway, hey, let's go ahead and jump to our pro tip. Our tool tip this week is one of my favorites. It's called Levelator. It was made by some guys who are podcasters and who are doing a whole bunch of shows and didn't have hardly any time to do serious audio processing. So what they did is they figured out the things that they normally do to any given spoken word audio file and wrote a program to do that all the time, every time. So the idea behind Levelator is really simple. Render out your audio file as a WAV file or an MP3. I always choose to do WAV because that's the least compressed and the highest quality one. And then take it and drop it into Levelator, and it's going to go through and it's going to normalize, it's going to EQ, it's going to compress, it's going to do loudness maximizing, it's going to do all these wonderful things that you would have to do by hand, and it's going to spit out a file that is named exactly like the file that you put in, but with output attached to the name. So you'll have your original one one, and then you'll have the original .output, and that is the one that you will then turn around and drop back into your video file or make into an MP3 and publish, etc., etc., etc. Levelator, it's really cool. It takes a lot of time out of the audio editing process.
I didn't know that tool existed. And you're the man, because you find these things that I have no idea existed. And I've had this problem and I didn't know there was a solution for it.
Well, there you go.
You nailed it.
Well, there you go.
So I am now out of this predicament that you described.
Well, I aim to please. I've been passing that around for years, and in fact, just the other day, Chris Oshinsky, one of our CTA insiders, said that she was having a problem with the sound and stuff like that. And I said, hey, hang on a sec. I'm going to go ahead and make this a pro tip. And so I threw Levelator at her, and she was like, "You are kidding. This exists." So it's it's not going to be perfect. It's generally the rule of thumb is if you're dealing with dialogue, it's going to work out really good. But if you're like trying to do it across, like say your whole service, you may get mixed results, right? But if you're just doing it for the dialogue and stuff, it's great because that's what it was designed to do. It's designed for spoken word podcasts and stuff. So it's just something to kind of narrow the gap for you a little bit in your production schedule. So.
And now for our feature presentation.
When I think of landing pages, Justin, I always think of like almost like a sales funnel or something. And so I was like putting the email together, and I remembered something that one of our guests, I wish I could remember which one it was. They were talking about how you skin your service, how you skin your
that was Ben.
Yeah, Ben, thank you. All the elements and stuff, that for a series, you kind of skin it. And I said, you know what? A landing page, in the way that we're talking about using it, not a separate page that's going to sit out there and it's going to be one of the entry points. It's like, this is going to be a skin that temporary homepage for your site. And so it's like you're skinning your site for Easter. And I thought that's a pretty good way to explain it. It's like a facade, that you put up for a couple of weeks, and then it goes away and it kind of sits on the shelf until the next Easter rolls around. But then you make one for the next big event,
That's right. So for anyone who doesn't know what a landing page is, it's basically a dedicated page that serves one purpose. So your kids' ministry page, right, is going to serve multiple purposes. Sign up for events, RSVP if you need special accommodations, look at the calendar, follow us on social media. Like the kids' page probably has a lot of calls to action, but a landing page is one purpose. So you might make a landing page for an event that says sign up. If you come to this page, all we want you to do is sign up. And that's where it gets kind of a bad rap because it's used a lot in sales, right? You click on an ad in Facebook and you're like, oh, I do want that book or that ebook. And then the whole page is just one long 10,000 word sales page, right? About why you should buy this book. And I know Dave especially hates those IM or internet marketing sales pages. We've probably all seen them.
Yeah.
Where you just scroll and scroll and scroll.
But they're crazy effective too. That's the thing that bugs me is that they work.
Dave, that was one thing I had to learn is Dave hates marketing. He is not my target audience.
But I love to market.
That's right. So what we're talking about today is using a landing page for Easter, and it's going to be a twofold approach, as we detail in our Easter checklist, which you can get at churchtrainingacademy.com/Easter. We talk about creating an Easter landing page, and what you want to do is you want to create it, start building it out now. Okay, especially if you're not the web guy, if you're just a receptionist running the Squarespace site, or if you're a volunteer, it's going to take you a couple weeks, probably, right? We are going to give you a template when this show publishes. You can get at churchtrainingacademy.com/028. That's the show 28. It'll all be in the show notes below. But this is one that you can use for Easter that, again, is solely focused on getting people in your church for Easter, making it easy for them. And so, again, a landing page is one page on your website dedicated to one purpose. If you don't have the option to create a landing page, I know in WordPress you need a plugin. We use OptimizePress. In Squarespace, they're called cover pages.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if Wix does them, due to they're just called landing pages. But what that does is it removes the header of the website. So there's no logo. Usually there's no logo. there might be one in the page somewhere, but
Right.
especially there's no navigation bar. So if someone lands on your Easter site, they can't go and look at your beliefs or can't go and look at something else, because again, you want them to take one action. You want them to make one commitment.
Right. It's the idea is to remove all the distractions from, so that the only thing that they can do is follow the path that you want them to, and then that can lead them to later the other stuff. You don't want them to. You want them. You when they come and say, "What's going on at this church?" and like, do they have a children's ministry, or what's going to be happening on Easter or something? You don't want them to all of a sudden, like you said, start looking at who the staff is, and then taking a look at the camp video and see a registration form for Disciple Now. You don't want any of that junk in the way.
Right. You want to keep it focused on one thing. You want to take one action. It's kind of like when you end a sermon and you do an altar call. You don't say, hey, did you accept Christ? Come on up. Are you interested in doing youth camp? Go to the table. Hey, do you want to sign up for a baptism? We have it. You don't do that at the end. The altar call serves one purpose, right? And so that's kind of, I'm not saying this is the altar call of websites, but I'm trying to give you an illusion, something to connect it with in church. So we're talking about what makes an effective landing page, and more specifically, because it is the time right now, we are 8 Sundays away, 2 months away from Easter. We're talking about an Easter landing page. So let's get into it. So now you know what a landing page is. Dave's got a mock-up that I made this week that is kind of like one of my go-to designs. And it's one we're going to use for our church. And you'll be able to see exactly the things that I'm kind of talking about. So first thing you need to do is know who is going to be using your landing page, and start thinking of how you want to communicate to them. So, you want to, am I talking to families? Is Easter a family holiday? Are we doing an egg hunt? Are we doing a breakfast? Do we have something special for kids? And then use that language that you would invite a family, use that on your website. If that's not the case, if you're an older church and you're reaching grandparents, right? Then think about how you would talk to those people. But as with anything we do on our websites or any kind of communications, you need to know who you're talking to. And that'll help you kind of lay out what follows. So again, if you don't have landing page software on your website, just make a normal web page, maybe under your events. You will have the navigation bar, but the elements should remain the same.
Yeah,
so
and you know what? We could go ahead and put some links in our show notes to some of the third parties that are out there for making landing pages and things like that. We can provide some stuff for you guys. All right, so I've got the landing page up. So when you're ready, just let me know.
Yeah, so number one, as Dave just scrolls through it to give you a preview of what's coming up, number one you want to do is keep it simple. We talked about how it serves one purpose. You want someone to take one action. Okay, on this one, there's a couple buttons because you may want different actions. There's the main one is RSVP, right? And when you click on that, it should take you to, don't worry about the clicks or anything like that. But when you would click on it when it's live, it will take you down to the bottom where you can RSVP and receive a special gift, right? Even if you use your normal gift, people may not know that you have a gift for guests. So you want them to commit to saying, hey, I'm going to be here on Easter Sunday. So that's it. You're not offering tickets. You're not offering special raffle prizes. You're not offering, hey, by the way, sign up for our youth camp. It's one thing. I want you to commit to coming. Or there's a secondary call to action, just get directions, right? You could put a map on here. I didn't think it worked for the design, so I put a get directions button. That opens up the Maps app on your phone.
Let me tell you, let me speak real quick about that RSVP. I think that's really important. That is two things. That does two things. That number one gets that person on your email list, and you should be tagging them as a visitor or as a interested in visiting, something like that. A first stage prospect, whatever you want to call it. But it also gives you, the church, a rough count about how many extra guests you're going to be. You say there's going to be 100, but with this, you can say, hey, look, we got like 75 people that have RSVP'd, so we know for sure that there's going to be about 75 people that are coming, or we think there's going to be 20 or 30 people. Holy cow, we got 90 that have RSVP'd, so that you can plan for an overflow room if you need to, or staff up the kids ministry or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Or quite honestly, just make sure you have enough visitor gifts.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially if you have mugs, right?
Oh yeah.
You need to know. We're already approaching how many we have. We need to order more.
Definitely.
For
Definitely.
Easter. Okay, so number 2, and this one is of course dear to our hearts. But remember that video speaks louder than words, and it speaks louder than images. You know, what is it? An image is worth 1,000 words. But guess what? There's usually 24 to 30 frames in a video, so that's 24 to 30 images in a video. So a video, I guess, is worth 24 or 30,000 words. So if you take the opportunity to create a video of your pastor or someone in your church inviting the web visitor to Easter. Now, don't get me started. Don't do the whole, hey, welcome to our website. Just say, hey, my name is Pastor so and so, and I'd love for you to come to Easter. The pastor that recorded this, I don't know if you have audio on this, he actually had a really good hook.
All right, let's see.
So people were mentioning it on Easter.
All right, let's see here.
Easter is a really dumb holiday. And I do only say that because I had to spend so much of my childhood confused on whether or not rabbits lay eggs. And I'm sure that many of you shared in that confusion. No. But there's some good things about Easter.
I like that.
Okay, you can cut it there.
Great.
That's Nick's personality.
Yeah, I love that.
That was, and then we memed it out on Facebook, and it was like, pastor thinks Easter's dumb. Or something like that. Man, that video took off. It was great. So video speaks louder than words. Absolutely. You don't have to have a great production video like this, which shout out to our pastor's assistant, Thomas, who does the video for our church. He did an amazing job setting this up. I was not expecting that. But, clean the pastor's office up, get your mic out, get a lapel mic, do something a little bit nicer, but don't let the production be an excuse to stop that.
Right.
So get an invite from your pastor or get an invite from another member or staff of your church that just says, hey, I'm excited to have you. We're going to have a great service and we're saving a seat for you. We've got this. Don't go so much into the plans, but go into why they should come and what they can expect. So number 3 is, of course, have the call to action. Don't just put the information out there and hope someone acts on it. Give them something to do. In this case, give them a button to RSVP. Give them a button to find directions, or even better, like have detailed directions mailed to you or something like that. Get a phone call from the pastor. Pick one thing you want them to do and put a button there that calls them to do that action. You want to get a commitment. And the thing that I love about, of course, we talk about all the time here, get the deets, get their email, because then you can follow up with them. Send them an email. Hey, the picture of the kids performing or practicing. Hey, the kids are ready for you. Or hey, Susie's baking the cake right now as we speak. So, we kind of talk about the same things you do on social. You can do through email and get that commitment. Start the dialogue. Hey, we're a week away from Easter. How can we pray for you?
Yeah.
Call them to action, and preferably call them to an action that would get them to RSVP or commit coming, so you can get their email address.
Perfect.
So number 4 is below the video, what to expect at BNT, which is short for Bill and Ted's Excellent Church, by the way. That's going to be, I think, our demo church whenever we make demo pages or whatever.
Bill and Ted's Excellent Church. Whoa.
Bill and Ted's Excellent Church.
Dude. So
talk about your church in general. Again, don't focus on the details. You'll notice that all we've done right now is we've said, as far as logistics, that it's April 1st and it's at 11 a.m. Mm-hmm. Everything else is about the consumer, right? Looking for a church this Easter, we're saving a seat for you. Take an action, RSVP, get directions. Now move into what to expect at the church. And if you want, when we publish this, we'll give you a template, right? A visual template that you can follow. Just steal it. Okay. Just steal the template.
Yeah.
And talk about what they can expect. So not we love God, we love people, we love you, or whatever. Talk about what they can physically expect when you walk in. So for here, you're going to be welcomed with a smile and a handshake. We've got fresh donut and coffee, and you can wear whatever you want, right? Comfortably, right? Put something there that describes what people can expect and as far as the experience when they come in. And again, include images, include video. If you have video, you include that here, a well-done video of the worship set or a well-done video of people in the foyer. Include information like that. Number whatever we're on, 5 or 6, I can't remember. But the next one is to go ahead and describe the day. But again, don't get too focused on logistics. You want to maintain some mystery. Kind of like, again, mention our good friend Ben Stapley when he talked about don't give the sermon away in the title, right? Keep it mysterious. Ask a question. Don't go too much into the details. Family breakfast. Here it says, come have breakfast with us. We'll enjoy eggs, bacon, pancakes, orange juice, milk, juice, and coffee. It's at 8:30. What you don't see is families A through G, please bring pancakes. Families F through whatever, please bring syrup. And
Right.
then please, everyone also bring, if you have a crock pot, please bring a power strip. Your Easter web visitors do not need to know all that. They're
That's
not
right.
bringing food. They're not even part of your church. Keep that somewhere else in a
Yep.
flyer in the communications desk or in your bulletin or whatever.
Yeah, an email that goes out to the members of the church.
Yes,
Or
email even better.
yes.
But keep it simple. Remember, you want to keep your landing page simple. So lay out the day. Again, images. I'm a big fan. If you've ever seen, if you've experienced any of my designs, I love the matrix layout, which we have image, text, and then it's flipped text, image.
Yep. Like here.
So that's what I like. It breaks it up a little bit. And don't worry too much about the design. There's really only 2 colors on this page. Again, it's keeping it simple, and use pictures, real pictures of your people as you're describing the day. So a picture of breakfast, a picture of Sunday school, a picture of worship, and then a picture of the Easter egg hunt. Grab pictures of your people. Even if you don't have an Easter egg hunt picture, just put a picture of one of your kids up. That's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't have to be exact. As long as there's not a Christmas tree in the
Stick a
background.
basket in her hand and have her just stand in the backyard.
Exactly.
right.
You get the pictures for next week. So for your Easter landing page, describe the day. If it's a general landing page, if you're watching this for general event landing pages, describe what people can experience at the specific event. So we talked a little bit about the culture of the church, what to expect at B&T. Now describe what the experience will be at the event. Next one is going to be social proof. So for here, as you scroll down again, people are thinking, I guess it looks like fun, but I don't know you. I don't believe you.
Right.
People will trust what someone else says about a brand more than they will trust what the brand tells you.
Right.
So I could tell you all day, dude, I am the most honest guy you'll ever meet. I have never told a lie in my life. And you can take that to the bank, and you're like, okay, seriously? This guy's probably, but if someone else comes to you and says, hey, Justin, you can trust what he says because he's not going to lie to you. He knows his stuff, and if he doesn't know, he will tell you, right? And so that you would believe that in an instant, like, okay, well, yeah, it's a referral. I know what this guy's talking about.
Right.
So include social proof, include something here. And I included video is obviously best, right? We want to use video, but I included how you can lay it out if you just have a picture, just a picture of the family. Doesn't even have to be in the church. These guys are in the park, okay?
And this is just one of the families at the church, right? Just somebody in your Sunday school class or something.
Right. And then just have them share their story. Doesn't have to be a video. It can be in text here. You can see it's just laid out nice. It's not a novel, but it describes the struggle they went through, how the church came alongside them, and how and that they're excited for what's coming up next. That's huge. People will remember stories. We talked about that in StoryBrand. People will remember stories more than they remember information. So I may walk away and tomorrow when I'm thinking, so honey, did we decide what Easter? Well, that one church had nice family. It seemed like they had a family that was kind of like us or in a situation like us, So this page is obviously very geared towards families because of the family events, the family atmosphere, the family story. Take a story from someone that you want to communicate with and include that on the landing page. Or if you want, just take snippets of what people say. Oh yeah, I always feel welcome here. I love that they take care of my kids so I can focus on worship. I am super well, just real quick snippets of people. If you don't want to include one bigger story, include short testimonials, I guess, from your visitors. Okay, we talked about the call to action. That's next. The way this site is designed, it just, you click that and it comes down here because you want to include that in multiple places. So include it again at the bottom, RSVP or, a button that says, save your seat or advanced kids check-in, whatever the call to action is, include it again as you're going through the site. And lastly, we will end it with a link to the church website because there are some people, I would do this too. If I saw an amazing Easter service and I wanted to know more about the church because I don't want to go to a church that doesn't have the same values as I do. I want to see their website. So at the bottom, include a link that goes back to your main church website. That's mainly for the Christians here. That's why it's all the way down at the bottom because if they really want to know, they will search for it. So you can just give them a little way out, a little trail there to continue onto your website. And a bonus thing, this won't be in the guide, but a bonus thing is Facebook landing page. Landing pages. If you want to run Facebook ads to it, a lot of churches are using Facebook ads.
Sure.
You need to have a privacy policy on your landing page. Otherwise, Facebook will flag it.
Oh,
So
wow. Okay.
Just include a link to your privacy policy on your landing page.
That's cool.
They won't flag it every time, but better safe than sorry.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then down here, I just included a little extra because it is a little bit of a scroll. And as you're scrolling on your phone, it is a little bit of a long way. So at the bottom, I also included just a real quick recap of when, where, and what's going on.
Right.
So that is the what do you call it when you cut open a dead guy to see how he died?
Oh, the autopsy.
Autopsy. that is the autopsy of an Easter landing page and how you can easily design one, because as you look here again, I think it's pretty cool. I like it. The colors you don't have to worry about. Just pick 2 colors, but you'll notice that everything is in sections. You have the main section that invites them and welcomes them to the experience. Then you have another section that's all about what the church is about. Then you have another section about what's happening Easter morning. Then you have a section about the family, and then you have a section for them to take action. If you don't use a pop-up, just make it a section. Everything comes down to sections. Can you hear my dogs barking in the background?
Yeah.
Okay. I gave them bones. I give them bones during the live show so they don't do that. Don't that they're doing that. I think it's because my wife's home. She knows not to come home. But anyways, okay.
That sounds so good. I think my wife's home. She knows not to come
She
home.
knows I'm recording till noon. Come on, Bridget. Live show. It's live, people. Yep, I just heard her walk in the door. Okay, they should be quiet now.
That's awesome.
So we'll cut it there. All right. So you see that everything is in sections here. You don't have to be pretty and spend months on design and spend $1,000 for someone to get into your website and do it. Break it out into sections and just talk about one thing in every section. It's easy to read. Again, it's simple and it's easy for you to do. You don't have to worry about flying animations. You don't have to worry about, a 10 color palette with primary and secondary and tertiary colors. And, this is what this page does. And I have to do it exact.
Right.
You don't have to. Okay.
No, this is like 99% colored backgrounds and white text. That's it.
Exactly.
And images.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I know my way around a website, and this took me about an hour. But I really think, if you take our cheat sheet, our little guide that we're going to have, you could probably, even if you're just a church secretary trying to run your Squarespace, I think if you just have the Squarespace manual in one window and then our little cheat sheet in another, you could probably get this done in 2 hours.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're just plugging in sections and you're replacing the information with something about your church.
Yep.
And that's of course, if you already have the content, if you know what people can experience on Easter. Now, if your worship pastor is still like, I don't know what we're doing, or someone's like, I don't know, we're still figuring out if the committee will approve breakfast, that makes it a little tough. That's why in our strategy guide, or in our Easter planning checklist, we say that you need to know this stuff, right? So start building out the layout now, even if you have to fill in the information later. But that's how you can basically build a super simple, super effective, beautiful, and very well communicated Easter landing page. What do you think, Dave?
I like it. It all makes sense. And, we're focusing on Easter, but guys, this can be, anything. I mean, at our church, Disciple Now is a big deal. So there's no reason why we couldn't take this formula and make it for the Disciple Now weekend, where the parents will be coming on Sunday morning after their kids have been there, for the 2 days and stuff like that, or whether it's the 4th of July weekend or Mother's Day. You were saying in our pre-show that Mother's Day is the biggest or the second biggest?
Second biggest
event at any given church. So Christmas, Mother's Day, then Easter. So, what I encourage is you build something like this for Easter. Go ahead and get it done, and get it done now, and have it kind of cocked and loaded so that you can turn it on that week prior or 2 weeks prior, whichever you're going to do. And then make a copy of it and kind of generic it up a little bit, instead of saying, here's our Easter service, then just say what you can expect or whatever, kind of generic it up a little bit so that you can then later duplicate it and make it for the 4th of July weekend, make it for the Mother's Day weekend, make it for, heck, you can make it for Christmas. You can make it for any kind of special event. If you're having your 75th anniversary or something like that, boom, then, you make this and kind of have these things ready to deploy at a moment's notice or at a couple of weeks out notice, any kind of
That's
special
right.
event.
And if anyone says, won't people get bored of the same thing every week? Let me ask you this. Are people bored of singing the same worship songs every week? Because let's be honest, we've all sang Good Father at least twice or 3 times a month, and we still cry every time.
You're right.
So, no, people will not get tired of the design.
right.
Use one design and use it over and over and over again.
Yep.
I only have about 3 designs that I rotate in between when I do landing pages for clients, and this is just one of them.
Yep.
So, don't be afraid to reuse. And if someone says, oh, well, I saw that last time, why didn't you change it? As you say, because it's not for you, right? Bill, you're here every Sunday.
Right.
It's not for you. You're going to be here for Easter no matter what. Okay.
Yeah.
So be quiet. No, I'm kidding. Don't say that. Bill's a great guy. I'm sure.
Well, it's the same. It's the same thing about having the greeters out front that are welcoming people in. I mean, half of them you work with. So
That's right. That's right.
the guy sits in the cube across from you, and here he is greeting you and stuff like. Well, he's not really there to greet the people that are there every single Sunday. He's there to greet somebody new or somebody who this their second time or third time, to give them that smiling face, that welcome face. So you and I walk through and go, yeah, hey, Bill, and that's it. But Bill puts on the smile, reaches out, gets the umbrella, does whatever, when it's somebody new and stuff. That's the same idea behind these things. Fantastic.
Absolutely,
Good information.
absolutely.
Good information. So where can folks grab this?
It'll be on our website, churchtrainingacademy.com/028.
Okay.
That's show 28. You can grab it from there. I don't have another URL, so we'll have to use that one right now.
Okay.
But we will put a link down in the show notes. It will take you to the recording of the episode. It will take you to the transcription of the episode. So if you want to kind of have everything kind of in long form writing to present to a pastor or whoever needs to design it. And then we will have a cheat sheet for you that will have this visual landing page developed for you, so you can reference it and say, I want to build this section, and it will have, I'll put little post-it notes or some kind of something on there to show you what every section does. So for example, at the top of my landing page, I just call them out. Looking for a church this Easter? We're saving a seat for you. So that way it's like, oh, I am looking for a church. That's who I want to talk to. You might want to say, hey, families of Edinburgh. Or hey, hey, families of so and so, or something like that. Put a little. I didn't talk about that in the show. It won't be in the transcription, but I'm going to put a little sticky note in the checklist that says, "Hey, this is what this is for. This is what this element is for.
Right.
This is what this." So a little cheat, little comments there. So you're not just getting the image, but you're also getting the purpose behind the image.
Fantastic. Okay, so you want to tell folks about where they can get our big checklist, the Easter checklist?
Yeah, the Easter checklist. Again, you can go to churchtrainingacademy.com/Easter, and that will take you to our Easter checklist, 21 points. This is across your church. Now, it's not everything, right? Because otherwise we'd never stop writing it, because every church is unique and uniquely equipped. But this is the big stuff that most every church will have, and a couple of things that many churches will have. So audit your cabling, right? Just about every church has sound stuff. And I will tell you, just about every church has gremlins in their sound system that you just learn to live with. Well, now is the time to start checking everything and get that done. Check your lighting, check your building. And then also, super important, check the things that are important to your guests that maybe you don't think about. Check your guest network. Are there any dead spots? Check your children's security. What do you need to check there to make sure that parents know their children are safe? We break it down in weekly implements. So what to do 10 weeks out, what to do 4 weeks out, and then what to do the week of. There's 21 things in there, and it's not all tech. So if you're a church secretary, it probably is receptionist. I'm sorry, we're not supposed to call them secretaries anymore. A lot of churches get mad about that. I'm sorry. But if you're a church receptionist, there's stuff in there for you. If you're the website guy, there's stuff in there for you. We talk about the website and the Easter landing page, how to get that ready for your influx of Easter visitors. So go to churchtrainingacademy.com/Easter. We've literally taken the remembering and the thought out of it. All you have to do is follow along. And then when you're done, you get to check the box. Yes, I audited our cabling. Yes, I replaced our light bulbs. Yes, I cleaned the floor or something. You get to check that off and experience that little explosion of dopamine in your mind. It's awesome. And we are starting to work on it on our church. And it is comprehensive to really set up your best foot forward for Easter.
And that just totally makes sense, right? Anyway, I hope this has been helpful. You guys take what you've learned today and go change lives.